Right now, just 1.5 miles off a popular British beach, a broken World War II ship is sitting directly underneath the busiest shipping lane in the United Kingdom. If you look out at the water, you can see its 3 rusted iron masts poking straight through the waves. But if you look beneath the surface, you're looking at a decaying cargo hold packed with 1,400 tons of active high-grade military explosives. If a rogue jet ski clips those masts, or if the metal finally snaps under its own weight, it could trigger a blast so violent it would obliterate the coastline, spark a localized tsunami, and send a shockwave tearing straight up the River Thames. This isn't a hypothetical movie plot. This is a real, present-day national security nightmare. The British government has put a total no-fly zone over it. Armed patrol boats guard it. Radar tracks it 24 hours a day. And yet, the ship is actively rotting into a giant underwater booby trap. To understand how this stretch of water became home to a permanent weapons crisis, we have to look back to August 1944. The Allies were pushing hard through Europe following the D-Day landings, and the military machine required ammunition. Enter the SS Richard Montgomery, a standard American Liberty ship built cheap and fast to carry massive payloads across the Atlantic. The Montgomery left the United States loaded to the absolute brim. Her cargo holds were a literal catalogue of destruction: thousands of casing blocks, hundreds of massive demolition bombs, white phosphorus smoke bombs, and fragmentation clusters. Her destination was France, but first she was ordered to join a massive convoy forming in the shallow waters of the Thames estuary near Sheerness. The navigation of the Thames estuary is an unforgiving maze of moving sandbanks and volatile currents. On August 20th, 1944, a fatal administrative error placed the ship in an anchorage spot notorious for its shallow water during low tide. As a fierce gale began to blow, the heavily laden vessel began to drift. With a sickening metallic crunch, the Richard Montgomery ran hard, aground on the Sheerness middle sand. The localized pressure on the steel hull was catastrophic. As the tide went out, the thousands of tons of ammunition inside began to pull the ship's spine in 2 different directions. Within hours, the hull plates buckled, the forward holds split wide open, and freezing seawater rushed into the cargo bays. A frantic salvage operation began immediately. Dock workers raced against the clock to unload the lethal cargo before the ship broke entirely. For 3 days, they operated under extreme stress, pulling about half of the munitions out of the rear holds. But by day 4, the situation turned hopeless. The ship broke its back completely. The forward half of the vessel sank deep into the thick, sucking marine mud, completely submerging the forward cargo holds. The salvage teams had to flee, leaving the remaining half of the deadly cargo trapped inside the twisted, flooded steel tube. When the war ended, the British government faced an impossible mathematical equation. Do you send divers into a broken, unstable hull to pull out thousands of waterlogged bombs, risking a massive accidental explosion? Or do you leave it alone, cross your fingers, and hope the ocean stabilizes the explosives? They chose to leave it alone. And for over 80 years that gamble has been running. Look at those numbers. 1,400 tons of active munitions, over 2,000 individual high explosive blocks, thousands of fused fragmentation devices, and white phosphorus incendiaries. This is a concentrated arsenal sitting in less than 50 feet of water. Historically, scientists calculated that if the remaining cargo detonated simultaneously, it would create one of the largest non-nuclear explosions in human history. The shockwave would shatter every window for miles, throw a column's thick geyser of water thousands of feet into the air, and generate a massive tidal wave that would rush over the sea walls of Kent and Essex. While modern government assessments indicate that a spontaneous full-scale detonation is now highly unlikely, the unique chemical reality inside those holds means the site remains an active and volatile hazard. The true terror of the Richard Montgomery isn't just the volume of the explosives, it is the unstable chemistry of aging weapons. Inside those flooded holes are thousands of fused fragmentation devices. The fuses on these specific bombs contain a highly sensitive primary explosive called lead-azide. Over 8 decades of submersion, a slow, silent chemical reaction can take place between the lead-azide and the copper alloys used in the ship's manufacturing. This reaction creates an entirely new chemical compound, copper azide. To an explosive ordnance expert, copper azide is a nightmare. It is an ultra-sensitive, volatile compound that behaves like an untamed booby trap. While standard military explosives require a high-energy blasting cap to detonate, copper azide can be triggered by the slightest kinetic friction. A sharp knock, a shifting piece of rusted metal hull, or an unauthorized diver accidentally bumping a locker door could cause the copper azide to detonate, instantly initiating a catastrophic chain reaction that sets off the entire 1,400-ton cargo bay. Because the ship is a literal underwater powder keg, the British government has turned the surrounding water into one of the most locked down, heavily monitored zones in maritime law. You cannot legally go near it, you cannot swim to it, and you cannot even fly a drone over it. In 1973, the vessel was officially designated as a dangerous wreck under the Protection of Wrecks Act. This established a strict, permanent exclusion zone around the ship. Entering this boundary without explicit, written permission from the Secretary of State is a serious criminal offence that carries severe legal penalties, and the restrictions keep tightening. To prevent a freak aviation accident, a mandatory no-fly zone is strictly enforced over the coordinates, banning all pilots and commercial drone operators from descending lower than 13,100 feet above the wreck site. If you think you can sneak out there past sunset for a viral video, think again. The Maritime and Coast Guard Agency maintains an ironclad surveillance net over the coordinates. Local port authorities operate 24-hour radar systems that monitor every single square metre of the exclusion zone. The operations centre has a direct line of sight to those rusted masts poking out of the waves. If a jet ski, a stray fishing vessel, or an uncrewed kayak breaches the outer warning buoys, an immediate alarm triggers, and maritime security assets deploy instantly to intercept the intruder before their hull can make contact with the steel. Even the official engineers tasked with checking the ship's structural integrity don't send human divers inside the hull anymore. They rely strictly on remote multi-beam sonar arrays operated from a safe distance. But a massive problem remains. You can stop the people, you can stop the boats, and you can stop the drones, but you cannot stop the passage of time. The SS Richard Montgomery has been soaking in corrosive salt water for over 80 years. The structural integrity of the steel hull is failing, and the ship is slowly, inevitably collapsing. The immediate danger isn't the hull splitting open from the side, it's those iconic masts sticking out of the water. The masts are incredibly heavy, solid iron structures, and their underwater bases are severely corroded. Structural engineers have warned that if a severe winter gale or a massive tidal surge hits the estuary, those towering masts will finally snap at the deck line. If they fall, gravity will send hundreds of tons of jagged, accelerating iron plunging straight downward through the weakened deck plates, smashing directly into the fragile cargo holds where the copper azide crystals are waiting. To prevent this catastrophic scenario, the Department for Transport took action, signing a multi-million-pound contract with a highly specialised marine salvage group. The mission is incredibly tense. Teams must deploy heavy offshore platform equipment to safely cut down and significantly reduce the height of the 3 visible masts. It is a surgical slow-motion demolition project conducted on top of the world's largest unexploded maritime bomb. The operation is so delicate that any unexpected movement or tool vibration could spell disaster, which is why the site is more heavily restricted today than at any point in modern history. The SS Richard Montgomery is a stark reminder that the remnants of total war never truly disappear. They just wait silently beneath the surface. For over 8 decades, a delicate balance of marine mud and government security has kept a national catastrophe at bay. But as the iron continues to rust and the tides continue to pull, the clock keeps ticking on the Thames. Given the volatile chemistry of the decaying fuses and the extreme risk of a structural collapse during salvage, do you think the British government is making the right call by performing high-stakes surgery to cut down the masts? Or should they continue to leave the wreck completely untouched for another 80 years? Share your thoughts in the comments below and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss our next deep dive into the sea's most hidden anomalies. Keep your screws turning and your scope dry.